Long before the first wave crashed against the shores of Tsushima, a vast empire was rising from the steppes of Central Asia. The Mongols, unstoppable, unified and burning with ambition, had already conquered half the known world. But when they turned their gaze to Japan, they would encounter a defiance they'd never seen before. In the early 13th century, the world watched in awe and terror as a storm brewed on the vast steppes of Central Asia. It began not with an empire, but with a man, Temujin, born into a life of hardship and betrayal, who would rise to become Genghis Khan, the greatest conqueror the world had ever seen. Under his unyielding leadership, disparate Mongol tribes were united into a disciplined war machine. With revolutionary tactics, expert horse archery, and psychological warfare, the Mongols exploded outward, conquering territory from China to the Caspian Sea. Cities fell like dominoes, empires crumbled. No one was safe from the reach of the Khan. By the time of his death in 1227, Genghis Khan had laid the foundations of a transcontinental empire. But it was his descendants, especially Kublai Khan, the founder of the Yuan dynasty in China, who would carry his ambitions across oceans. The Mongol military was unlike anything the world had seen. Mobility was its greatest weapon. Warriors traveled light, riding swift horses and launching surprise attacks that shattered traditional armies. Commanders used sophisticated battlefield communication and elaborate feints to lure enemies into traps. Even cities with massive walls, like those in Persia or northern China, fell through relentless sieges backed by Chinese and Persian engineers, skilled in siege engines, trebuchets, and early forms of gunpowder. The Mongols did not conquer merely for territory. They sought submission. Resistance was met with annihilation. Cooperation, on the other hand, was often rewarded. This cold, calculated pragmatism allowed them to build an empire that stretched from Korea to Hungary. By the mid-13th century, Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis, emerged as the most powerful of the Mongol rulers. Having conquered the Song dynasty in southern China, he declared himself emperor of the Yuan dynasty, ruling from his glittering court in Khanbalik, modern-day Beijing. But Kublai's ambitions didn't end on the mainland. He set his sights on the island nation of Japan, an unconquered land whose samurai lords had never bowed to a foreign emperor. Kublai, accustomed to submission through diplomacy or force, believed Japan could be brought into the Mongol fold. What he didn't expect was a resistance so fierce it would become legend. At this time, Japan was ruled by the Kamakura shogunate, a military government headed by the shogun and his loyal Hojo regents. While the emperor remained a ceremonial figure in Kyoto, true power lay with the warrior class in Kamakura. Samurai culture, rooted in loyalty, bushido, and martial prowess, was thriving. But Japan was politically fragmented, and while they were fierce warriors, they had never faced a threat like the Mongols. The clash between these two worlds, Mongol Empire and Samurai Japan, was inevitable. The rise of the Mongol Empire was unstoppable, but as Kublai Khan looked across the sea toward Japan, he was about to learn that not all islands submit to the tide. Stay tuned for Chapter 2, the first invasion of Japan, where diplomacy fails and the world's most terrifying empire launches its first amphibious assault on the samurai. Like, comment, and subscribe to join us as we dive into history's most epic invasion story and discover how this war shaped legends like Ghost of Tsushima. Or don't. Thanks for watching.